Good morning. Continuing to look at word studies, topical word studies. We're still in looking at Aaron. And this morning we're going to start out by looking at Aaron's benediction upon the people. In Leviticus chapter 9, verse 22, which is where we're going to start, it says, Then Aaron lifted up his hands toward the people and blessed them. And he stepped down after making the sin offering and the burnt offering and the peace offerings. Then we jump to Numbers chapter 6, verse 23. Numbers chapter 6, verse 23, where it says, Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, well, that was actually verse 22. Verse 23 says, Speak to Aaron and to his sons, saying, Thus you shall bless the sons of Israel. You shall say to them. All right, now we're going to look at Moses forbidden to mourn the death of his sons, Nadab and Abihu, in Leviticus chapter 10, verse 6. So back to Leviticus. That would be tough, losing your two sons and then being told that you can't grieve about it. Leviticus chapter 10, verse 6. Then Moses said to Aaron and to his sons Eleazar and Ithamar, Do not uncover your heads, nor tear your clothes, so that you may not die, and that he may not become wrathful against all the congregation. But your kinsmen, the whole house of Israel, shall bewail the burning which the Lord has brought about. Okay, so we're going to have to get some context here. So let's back up to the beginning of the chapter, looking at chapter 10, verse 1. This is talking about the sin of Nadab and Abihu, which were the sons of Aaron. Now Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took their respective fire pans, and after putting fire in them, placed incense on it and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he had not commanded them. And fire came out from the presence of the Lord and consumed them, and they died before the Lord. Then Moses said to Aaron, It is what the Lord spoke, saying, By those who come near me, I will be treated as holy, and before all the people, I will be honored. So Aaron therefore kept silent. Moses called also to Mishael and Elizaphan, the sons of Aaron's uncle Uziel, and said to them, Come forward, carry your relatives away from the front of the sanctuary to the outside of the camp. So they came forward and carried them still in their tunics to the outside of the camp, as Moses had said. Then Moses said to Aaron and to his sons Eleazar and Ithamar, Do not uncover your heads, nor tear your clothes, so that you may not die, and that he may not become wrathful against all the congregation. But your kinsmen, the whole house of Israel, shall bewail the burning which the Lord has brought about. You shall not even go out from the doorway of the tent of meeting, lest you die, for the Lord's anointing oil is upon you. So they did according to the word of Moses. Okay. So that was Aaron being told that he's forbidden to mourn the death of his sons. Let's drop down to verse 19 of the same chapter. But Aaron spoke to Moses, Behold, this very day they presented their sin offering and their burnt offering before the Lord. When things like these happened to me, if I had eaten a sin offering today, would it have been good in the sight of the Lord? Okay, now we're going to talk about Miriam or Aaron interceding for Miriam. Numbers chapter 12, verse 11. Numbers chapter 12, verse 11. All right, so this is Aaron interceding for Miriam. This is actually verses 11 and 12. Then Aaron said to Moses, O my Lord, I beg you, do not account this sin to us in which we have acted foolishly and in which we have sinned. Oh, do not let her be like one dead, whose flesh is half eaten away when he comes from his mother's womb. All right, so let's back up here and get the context. Verse 1 of the chapter 12, this is talking about the murmuring of Miriam and Aaron. And you probably know in the Bible that God hates murmuring, complaining. Then Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Cushite woman whom he had married, for he had married a Cushite woman. Well, that makes sense. And they said, Has the Lord indeed spoken only through Moses? Has he not spoken through us as well? And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very humble, more than any man who was on the face of the earth. And suddenly the Lord said to Moses and Aaron and to Miriam, You three come out of the tent of meeting. So the three of them came out. Then the Lord came down in a pillar of cloud and stood at the doorway of the tent. And he called Aaron and Miriam. When they had both come forward, he said, Hear now my words. If there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, shall make myself known to him in a vision. I shall speak with him in a dream. Not so with my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my household. With him I speak mouth to mouth, even openly, and not in dark sayings. And he beholds the form of the Lord. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant, against Moses? So the anger of the Lord burned against them, and he departed. But when the cloud had withdrawn from over the tent, behold, Miriam was leprous, as white as snow. As Aaron turned toward Miriam, behold, she was leprous. Then Aaron said to Moses, O my Lord, I beg you, do not account this sin to us in which we have acted foolishly and in which we have sinned. Oh, do not let her be like one dead, whose flesh is half eaten away when he comes from his mother's womb. And Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, O God, heal her, I pray. But the Lord said to Moses, If her father had but spit in her face, would she not bear her shame for 7 days? Let her be shut up for 7 days outside the camp, and afterward she may be received again. So Miriam was shut up outside the camp for 7 days, and the people did not move on until Miriam was received again. So there you go. It's not a good idea to make God angry like that. All right. Aaron stays the plague by priestly intercession. Numbers chapter 16, verses 46 through 48. Just a couple of chapters over. Numbers chapter 16, verses 46 through 48. And Moses said to Aaron, Take your censer and put it in the fire from the altar and lay incense on it. Then bring it quickly to the congregation and make atonement for them. For wrath has gone forth from the Lord. The plague has begun. Then Aaron took it as Moses had spoken and ran into the midst of the assembly. For behold, the plague had begun among the people. So he put on the incense and made atonement for the people. And he took his stand between the dead and the living, so that the plague was checked. So he stopped the plague with his priestly intercession. All right, jealous of, I'm assuming this is Aaron is jealous of Moses in Numbers chapter 12, verse 1. So let's go back a few chapters here. Numbers chapter 12, verse 1. This is back to the murmuring of Miriam and Aaron. We've already read this. Then Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Cushite woman whom he had married, for he had married a Cushite woman. I'm not really sure how that. I'm not really sure how that is talking about Aaron being jealous of Moses. Well, maybe it's more like verse 2. Verse 2 says, "And they said, has the Lord indeed spoken only through Moses? Has he not spoken through us as well?" All right. Let's see. Aaron, his presumption when the rock is smitten in Numbers chapter 20, verses 10 through 12. So it's a few chapters ahead here. Numbers chapter 20, verses 10 through 12. And Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly before the rock. And he said to them, "Listen now, you rebels, shall we bring forth water for you out of this rock?" Then Moses lifted up his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod, and water came forth abundantly, and the congregation and their beasts drank. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Because you have not believed me to treat me as holy in the sight of the sons of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them." Okay. So Aaron got in trouble along with Moses there for Moses striking the rock. And next is Aaron not permitted to enter Canaan, as we just saw there in the verse 12. He was included with Moses there of not bringing this assembly into the land which he had given them. And let's drop down to verses 23 through 29 of the same chapter. This is talking about the death of Aaron. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron at Mount Hor by the border of the land of Edom, saying, "Aaron shall be gathered to his people, for he shall not enter the land which I have given to the sons of Israel, because you rebelled against me, against my command at the waters of Meribah." That's when they struck the rock. "Take Aaron and his son Eleazar and bring them up to Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments and put them on his son Eleazar. So Aaron will be gathered to his people and will die there." So Moses did just as the Lord had commanded, and they went up to Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. And after Moses had stripped Aaron of his garments and put them on his son Eleazar, Aaron died there on the mountaintop. Then Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. And when all the congregation saw that Aaron had died, all the house of Israel wept for Aaron 30 days. Aaron's age of at death, Exodus chapter 7, verse 7. Exodus chapter 7, verse 7 says that, "And Moses was 80 years old and Aaron 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh." And then back to Numbers. Back to Numbers chapter 33, verse 38. "Then Aaron the priest went up to Mount Or at the command of the Lord and died there in the 40th year after the sons of Israel had come from the land of Egypt, on the first day in the 5th month." All right, so he was what, 80 something years old? Let me see here. Let's go back. Let's do a little math here because I didn't pay that much attention. I didn't realize we're going to be doing math here at 5 o'clock in the morning. Exodus chapter 7, verse 7 says, "And Moses was 80 years old and Aaron 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh." So they were 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh, or Aaron was 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh. Oh, I didn't have to do the math. It says it right here in verse 39. "And Aaron was 123 years old when he died on Mount Or." Okay. Okay, the death and burial of Aaron. And we're going to finish out with Aaron here, as you can probably tell. Numbers chapter 20, verse 27. Numbers chapter 20, verse 27. So Moses did just as the Lord had commanded, and they went up to Mount Or in the sight of all the congregation. We just finished reading that. Also, verse 28, we've already read. And after Moses had stripped Aaron of his garments and put them on his son Eleazar, Aaron died there on the mountaintop. Then Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. And then Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 6. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 6. Now the sons of Israel set out from Beeroth, Ben Jaakan to Mazareh. There Aaron died, and there he was buried, and Eleazar his son ministered as priest in his place. And then Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 50. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 50. Then die on the mountain where you ascend, and be gathered to your people, as Aaron your brother died on Mount Or and was gathered to his people. And then we finish up. The last thing about Aaron is the character of Aaron found in Psalm chapter 106, verse 16. Psalm chapter 106, verse 16. Almost there. When they became envious of Moses in the camp and of Aaron, the Holy One of the Lord. We're going to need to get some context here. Israel's rebelliousness and the Lord's deliverances, because I didn't necessarily see where that spoke of the character of Aaron in the verse there. So let's get some context here. Psalm chapter 106 is about Israel's rebelliousness and the Lord's deliverance. Praise the Lord. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his loving kindness is everlasting. Who can speak of the mighty deeds of the Lord, or can show forth all his praise? How blessed are those who keep justice, who practice righteousness at all times. Remember me, O Lord, and thy favor toward thy people. Visit me with thy salvation, that I may see the prosperity of thy chosen ones, that I may rejoice in the gladness of thy nation, that I may glory with thine inheritance. We have sinned like our fathers. We have committed iniquity. We have behaved wickedly. Our fathers in Egypt did not understand thy wonders. They did not remember thine abundant kindnesses, but rebelled by the sea at the Red Sea. Nevertheless, he saved them for the sake of his name, that he might make his power known. Thus he rebuked the Red Sea, and it dried up, and he led them through the deeps as through the wilderness. So he saved them from the hand of the one who hated them, and redeemed them from the hand of the enemy. This is talking about Moses here. And the waters covered their adversaries. Not one of them was left. Then they believed his words. They sang his praise. They quickly forgot his works. They did not wait for his counsel, but craved intensely in the wilderness and tempted God in the desert. So he gave them their request, but sent a wasting disease among them. When they became envious of Moses in the camp and of Aaron, the Holy One of the Lord. Okay, so it's just saying that the people became envious of Moses and Aaron, and then Aaron is listed as the Holy One of the Lord. So that's talking about his character there, that Aaron's character was the Holy One of the Lord. And I think we read that verse before in a previous session. All right, so that's it. That finishes up looking at the word Aaron. The next word is going to be the Aaronites, which I think I'm just going to go ahead and read right now because Aaronites is not a very long word. I mean, the word is long, but I mean, it's not a long, there's only one verse that covers it. So let's just go ahead and do that and go ahead and include it here in the topic of Aaron. Aaronites, which are the descendants of Aaron who helped David. First Chronicles chapter 12, verse 27. Going the wrong direction in the Bible here, looking for First Chronicles. First Chronicles chapter 12, verse 27. Now Jehoiada was the leader of the house of Aaron, and with him were 3,700. All right, so we've got David's supporters, and Ziklag starts the chapter 12, and then we've got supporters that were gathered at Hebron. So these are supporters of David, and as we can see here, a group of those supporters for David was in our verse that we just read here, verse 27. Now Jehoiada was the leader of the house of Aaron, and with him were 3,700. So they were gathered as supporters. The descendants of Aaron were gathered as supporters of King David in that aspect there. So, all right, we'll get into a few other words here. The next one's going to be Ab, A-B. And the Ab is the 5th month of the Hebrew year, and we're going to look at some things there, a couple of things there. We got a lot of words that are just probably just going to go through a lot of different words here for a little bit until we get to Abiathar. We're not going to have any significant time looking at words until we get to Abiathar, and who's the father of abundance. And we're going to look at several verses concerning Abiathar, or at least a few. We're really not going to get into any lengthy study of any words until we get to ablution. And I don't even know what that word means, but we got a lot of information to cover on that one. So that one will be interesting, but we got a lot of AV words to look at before we get to that point. So that's it for this one. Have a great day. Enjoy your day, and hope you're getting some things out of these studies. I certainly am. And take care.